All right, we are now joined on the Sharks Audio Network by Henry, aka Hank Thrun. What's going on, man? How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Ted. Thanks for having me on today.
Appreciate you joining me. I have to ask right off the bat, your first fight in the NHL. How was that?
Yeah, it was great. It was great. It was something that I wanted to do this year and made note to try to, get it done in the first 10 games. Just as I figured if it didn't happen then it'd be tough to kind of get yourself up to do it. So for me it was just found that the game had kind of presented itself in that fashion, found that that was an appropriate time to do it. So just jumped in and was happy the way it worked out.
No, it was cool. It was a fun moment. I immediately texted Ruzi and I said, I think that's Henry's first fight. And he was like, Yep, I just said that on air. I was like, Nice. We got to acknowledge this when it happened. Anybody else acknowledge it?
Yeah, a couple people. Had some texts from some buddies back home who caught wind of it, and we're all fired up. So yeah, it was fun. It was obviously it's something that I've wanted to do and just didn't do it last year, and this year was happy that I got my first one out of the way, and I'm sure there'll be more at some point, but it was good to kind of get the first one done.
I thought it was interesting that in that game, you guys upped the physicality overall. And even William Eklund, who's not the tallest dude in the world, but he's stout and thick. That dude's legs are like tree trunks, but he was getting into it. He was up in Cale Makar's face. And then again last night, like, is that something you guys have talked about wanting to increase the physicality out there on the ice?
Yeah, always. I think it more so stems from probably just being trying to create a high compete level within the team. I think physicality comes with that, but the first step is probably the compete level. That's more of where our focus lies, and different guys do that in different ways. Whether that's some guys take pucks to the net, some guys are more physical than others, some guys are better puck movers. Whatever you do, just make sure you're doing at your best and competing and trying to give the team the best chance to win. So I think with that compete level, there obviously is a heightened level of physicality. So I think when we're being physical, it usually means we'll probably be in a tight game.
I know that Ryan Warsofsky acknowledged after, I believe, Sunday's game that he thought that was maybe your best game in the NHL and thought that you had been playing your best game up to this point of your career. What does it mean to you to hear that from your head coach? And do you agree with it?
Yeah, it was great to hear that. Obviously, Wars is someone that I respect and someone that I trust his opinion and someone that I think's a great coach. So to hear him say that obviously feels good. There's been a lot of work put in both from an individual and team perspective. So
Mm.
to hear yourself kind of get complimented on that is always a good thing. So for me, I'm just trying to keep that high level every night and try to do my best to help the team win.
I noticed when you came into camp that you immediately looked like you were bigger, like you'd hit the weight room.
Mm.
And I feel like that's been a help for you out there on the ice. It looks like you're a little bit faster in your skating as well. And is that overall, is that the hard work you're talking about that's allowed you to be more engaged and maybe play your best game up to this point?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, the size and strength thing probably is most prominent down low in the D zone. I
Mhm.
think it's something that, some of the older D men I still probably have some ground to catch up on to, get to their level. But I feel compared to last year, I feel a lot more comfortable in the corners and being able to pin guys and close guys. So for me, I feel that last year I wasn't great at it, and this year I'm able to kind of get the first pin, and now the next step is sort of be able to hold him and fully stop the play up. So there's definitely progress there. I don't think it's necessarily perfect yet, but I feel
Mhm.
like I've made good progress over the summer, and it's nice to kind of see it come out in games.
How much more of a comfort level was there this year entering the NHL versus where you were at previous points of your career? Because you had a brief taste 2 years ago. Last year, you had an extended taste, but this year, you'd been through that. You were not that you were wide eyed before, but there was nothing that was particularly new about this year in training camp and starting off at the NHL level.
Yeah, it obviously helps a lot. It's just each time you show up in San Jose, just being a little more comfortable, both in and out of the facility. So it's a big step, and I think for me it definitely helps helps my game when I'm able to feel comfortable and feel settled in. So, each kind of segment that passes by, I just find myself getting more comfortable and gaining more confidence and trying to add more elements to my game. And, it's not everything's gonna be perfect. The first week, first month, first season. So for me, it's just trying to slowly progress and try to evolve and become the best player that I can be.
Have you talked to any of the other young guys who are up this year, like a Will Smith? Because, I watch him and I feel like in the last couple of games, he's gotten decidedly better. There's that acclimation period. But did you say anything to him like, yeah, man, like it's going to come at you fast? Like the NHL is a whole different animal. Or do you try to be hands off?
Yeah, it's a mix because obviously, last year being a rookie, I know what it's like to be a rookie in this organization. But at the same time, we have some great older veterans that, a voice coming from them for guys that have, won cups or a little bit later in their career
Mhm.
might be a little bit more beneficial for them to hear. So, there's times that I'll just kind of, pick up a conversation with them and see what's going on, and kind of poke around. But I try not to give too much advice. I mean, they're all good players and they're here for a reason. So more just try to be, just if they're open to talking, talk to them about anything and just kind of be a voice of be a supportive voice for whatever they need.
Is it more of a separation between the young guys and the old guys hanging out, or does everybody just pretty much hang out with everyone?
No, everyone hangs out with everyone, which is good. It's always nice to see kind of a blend within the team dynamic. The dinner groups have been pretty wild and real no rhyme or reason as to who goes to dinner with who. So it makes it a lot of fun. I think the team's gelling a little bit as we move forward and obviously going through some tough times right now. But I think it just kind of brings us closer together and when we get on the other side of it, it'll feel even better.
The only game where I felt like you guys didn't have a chance to win was the Winnipeg one, just because they got out on top 4-1, by the end of the first period, and then 5-1, I believe, 47 seconds or 43 seconds into the second period. But every other game, you guys have been right there. St. Louis, that was a winnable game. You got a point out of the Anaheim game. The first one, they didn't score till 10 minutes in the third. Dallas, it goes to a shootout. Chicago, you guys are there, but a lot of penalties. The Winnipeg game, obviously, second night of a back-to-back, more penalties. Colorado, you guys are still right there, fighting towards the end. And then last night's game, that's another really tight game. So is there frustration right now? Where is the team after 7 games, having earned a couple of points, but not getting that first win?
Yeah, I would say probably disappointment is a better word than frustration. I think we know we're putting in the work and we know that we're doing everything possible to give ourselves a chance to win the games. And now it's just a matter of um, executing it and making sure while the game is going on within those 60 minutes that we're doing everything correct and what we had talked about to make sure we're giving ourselves the best chance to win. So I mean, our preparation is there. We know we're putting the work leading up, and now it's just a matter of executing the game plan and finding a way to win the game. So for us, it's I think it's a step to be in the games, but at the end of the day, we need to be results driven. And for us, obviously, we haven't had our first win yet, so that's a pretty big result that in a pretty big box that hasn't been checked yet. So for us, that's probably going to be or that is our biggest goal right now, and something that I think will hopefully drive the team to become better and hopefully accomplish that goal.
How hard is it to focus on the results oriented aspect of it, of knowing you need to win while forgetting the previous game, because the previous game is what's driving you towards those results?
Yeah, it's part of the being in the grind of the NHL, right? You play I think what 82 games in 190-ish days, so it's you're basically going every other day. And it's a good thing when your team's going good and everything's clicking because you just kind of roll with it. But if things start to go south, it's you got to make sure you kind of take a second pause and reset and try to get the troops moving the right way. So it's definitely tough moving from game to game, but I feel like going into each game we've had good energy and good jump and had the right mindset. So now it's just a matter of kind of turning that into a win and finding whatever way possible to do that, which we haven't done yet.
What has the messaging been from the coaching staff about the penalties the team's taken in the last 4 games?
Yeah, it's obviously been an issue of ours. It's tough to. I think we took 7 minors last night with myself taking one, and be killing 14 minutes off out of a 60-minute game. It's quarter of the game, so it's tough. It impacts the game more than just, having to play defense for 2 minutes. You start to play certain guys too much, you get out of rhythm with line matching and everything like that. So it definitely doesn't help our team. And I think the message has just been a good penalty versus a bad penalty. If you're playing hard and you're on the forecheck and you catch a guy and there's a penalty on it, then that's great. But if it's a kind of a ticky tack reach penalty, then we're not going to accept those. So for us, that's an area of our game that we need to clean up right now.
How different has it been for you with Ryan Warsofsky from his position with the defenseman a year ago versus him being the head coach now?
Yeah, obviously, it's a bit of a different relationship. Not as much individual communication with them, which is expected. And I think something that's the way that a head coach should sort of be. So he's someone that, having had a existing relationship with him, I know that there's times I can always go up to him and have a conversation and ask questions or kind of talk through things as need be. And those conversations have happened. But at the same time, being a head coach is obviously just naturally certain things that you tend not to be as involved with the players as the assistant coaches. So Wars obviously is a super personable guy. So it's something that it's kind of a balancing act between the both because that's what makes him a great coach. So far it's I think everyone's been happy with the way that relationship has kind of evolved.
What's the focus heading into the game against LA?
Yeah, I think the big thing, as you said, will be staying out of the box. Will be number one. And then secondly, we gotta stay consistent. For us, if we play a 45-minute game out of 60 minutes, that's not enough. So we need a full 60-minute effort, and hopefully tomorrow night we can get that done.
Wasn't too long ago that you were the new guy in San Jose. How has it been with a lot of turnover on the roster this year and a lot of new guys coming in, like a Cody Ceci, a Jake Wallman, Wenberg, Grunstrom, Delandria, Toffoli? Has it been fun getting to know all these guys?
Yeah, it's been great. It's been really great. I think the management staff did a great job of doing their homework and made sure that everyone comes in is going to be kind of steering the ship in the right direction. I feel like we got a lot of high character guys and guys that have come from winning environments, which is a good thing. So, obviously, so far we haven't, as I said, we haven't seen the results, but I feel that the culture has taken a step forward, which is really the kind of step zero, as you could say. So I feel like that's kind of been a good accomplishment for us. But so far, as I said, the results haven't been there, and that's going to be kind of the next step for us.
So we're recording this on Wednesday afternoon. Practice is done with. You're going to go get some dinner later. What do you do now during this chill time? You take a nap, you watch TV, you go for a walk. What's on the Hank Thrun docket?
Yeah, I like to watch a lot of films. So I'll probably watch some film this afternoon, catch up on some just some different tasks I gotta get done, and then yeah, usually, call my family or, go for a walk and go out to dinner with the guys. So nothing too crazy, nothing too physically active, but try to stay, kind of mentally engaged with something rather than just laying around all day.
Nice. Well, I will let you get to that. I do not want to interrupt you and your work for the next game, but I appreciate your time, Hank, and I will see you soon. All right.
Thank you, Ted. Appreciate it.